Who taught you how to think? Everything you believe about yourself may have been installed before you were old enough to question it. How do you know what you know? It's a simple question, but don't answer it too quickly, because I'm not asking what you know. I'm asking, how did you come to know it? Before any of us could speak, before we could reason, before we could choose, we entered a world that was already speaking to us. Our family taught us. Our culture shaped us. Our schools educated us. Our communities influenced us. Our history gave us stories. Our experiences gave us memories. Little by little, we learned what was considered normal, what was considered right, what was considered possible. That's how every human life begins, and there is nothing unusual about that. In fact, it's part of being human. But there comes a moment, sometimes through loss, sometimes through love, sometimes through history, sometimes through a quiet moment when life no longer fits the explanations we've always accepted. When another question begins to whisper, how do I know what I know? Not because everything you've learned is wrong, but because understanding how you came to know something may be just as important as what you know. Have you ever noticed that two people can witness the same event and leave with completely different conclusions? Not because one is necessarily dishonest, but because each is seeing the world through a different lifetime of experiences, a different history, a different culture, a different story. The mind doesn't simply collect information, it interprets information. And over time, those interpretations become so familiar that we stop experiencing them as beliefs. We begin experiencing them as reality itself. That is conditioning, not something to fear, not something to reject. Simply the place where every human journey begins. But consciousness begins when something interrupts that automatic process. When we pause, just long enough to ask, why do I believe this? Where did this understanding come from? Have I ever truly examined it? That pause is not weakness. It is not doubt. It is the beginning of awareness. Because the purpose of inquiry is not to destroy belief. It is to understand the path that led us there. And perhaps, the greatest freedom we ever experience is not learning new answers. Perhaps it is becoming aware of how we came to accept the answers we already have. So I'll leave you with the same question we began with. How do you know what you know? Don't answer it today. Live with it. Because somewhere between certainty and curiosity, there is a quiet space. And in that space, something remarkable begins to emerge.